Thank you very much. Thank you, and that's very, very kind. You know, I had to walk along Piccadilly because of all the roadworks and the traffic, and I was walking down. It reminded me of Barcelona. I don't know if any of you know Las Ramblas, so you're walking down. About 4 years ago, I was doing an event in Barcelona. It was a leadership event. 400 pan-European leaders, and it was an HR-type conference. And because it's Barcelona, I decided to step outside, just before I was going to go on, and I was their MC for the day. I was going to get into the mood for Barcelona, one of my favourite cities. So I'm outside, I'm taking it in, thinking about how am I going to introduce this in my limited Spanish, what am I going to do to get things going. So I'm getting into the zone, a brand new Rolls-Royce pulls up. Out steps the chauffeur, grey uniform, grey peaked cap. Opens the back door and out steps an absolutely gorgeous, middle-aged Iberian woman. He stands behind her, and she had everything. Hair was beautiful, jewelry was beautiful, everything was in the right place, haute couture, and the most expensive fur coat I think I've ever seen. He stands behind her, he takes off the fur coat and lays it over her arm. He gets back into the car, drives off, and she steps towards the hotel. She comes to me and said, "Excuse me," perfect English. She says, "Do you know where the leadership conference is today?" I said, "Yes, it's downstairs in the ballroom." She said, "Thank you very much indeed," and laid the fur coat over my arm and walked downstairs. Now, it just left me speechless, not knowing what to say. And I'm standing there thinking, how did that happen? When the PA comes on and the voice of God comes on and says, "Please welcome your host for today, René Carayol," I run downstairs, I jump on the stage, I say, "Buenos dias, welcome to Barcelona," and everyone's pointing at the fur coat. And I said, "Let me tell you the story of the fur coat." I tell them the story of the fur coat, and I said, "You'll never believe this, but the owner of the fur coat is sitting here in the auditorium, and I'm sure she'd like to come up and pick up the fur coat." Nobody moves. We had to encourage her by getting the house lights on, and eventually, it's the longest walk in the world. And she gets up, and I say to her, you know, on occasion, wrong assumptions are our greatest learning opportunity. I've been back to Barcelona 3 times since, and each time she's become a really good friend. I have dinner with her and her husband, and we always talk about the fur coat. And sometimes wrong assumptions are the greatest learning opportunity. And if I look at our economy and the way that our business leaders have behaved over the past 10 years, there's been some wrong assumptions. Today's an opportunity I'm going to share with you what I think is a return to authentic leadership. And it's not about what we say, it's about what we do. So I've got about an hour with you. I'm going to try and convince you of 3 things. First thing, to manage a little less and lead a little more. My guess is everyone in this room is really good at management. My challenge to you is, does that prevent you from leading? How good's your leadership? I'm going to ask you quite an abrupt question. Why should anyone be led by you? What do you bring to the leadership party? I'm going to share some thoughts on that. The second thing I'm going to try and convince you of is culture is so much more powerful than strategy. And if I look at UK PLC and rudely old Europe, we're still lodged in management and steeped in strategy. Where if we're on a massive transformation or change program, the best levers for change are culture. The only thing that makes any business or organization truly unique is its culture. Everyone can copy a strategy. No one can copy your culture. And when I say culture, what I mean is the way we get things done around here. It's unique, it's special, it's different. And yet most organizations don't know that they can move their culture. The final thing I'd like to convince you of is that your heritage is not your destiny. Just because that's the way you've always done it, I think something has happened over the last 3 to 4 years. The world has changed forever. and you need to change with it.